Good morning. Welcome to Flat Earth Early Bird number 1751. I'm your host Arwin. And before we start the show, please don't forget to share it on any platform you deem fit. And if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel and hit the bell notification so you know when I'm going live, which is normally 1 p.m. Amsterdam time in the weekdays and 2 p.m. Amsterdam time in the weekend. And please also do support me through the PayPal and the Patreon. That would be much appreciated, and I can really use the support still. So please keep it coming. Right, hold on. Alright. Right, the weather today is very similar to yesterday. Little wind, couple of big clouds, but also some sun in between. Sky is not super blue though. It's more hazy up there. Interesting looking though. Looks pretty amazing, right? I mean, that's a pretty magnificent look there, if I say so. Huh. Right. So, it's Monday, the 16th of October 2023. Temperature's probably gonna be like 13, maybe 15 degrees. 13 degrees, yep. Oof. According to this, next week it's next Saturday it's gonna be 6. Wow, it's really cooling down rapidly. Right. Anyway, I'm here. I'm pretty well rested. No super late night. Because I was getting kept up. Illuminati croissant here. Right. So watch the movie, silly movie, old sci-fi, well not that old, but from 79. The Black Hole. Just worth some weird recommendation from some video reviewer that I've just bumped into randomly. But like, I didn't know it, so I actually checked it out, and Jesus, that is a weird movie. Disney too, Disney space movie, and there's like all parts about it that are like really interesting, and though the special effects are like kind of shortcoming, it was really interesting. And then there were parts that were just so incredibly dumb that it was just like, wow, even as a little kid I would have found that annoying. So it's a very mixed movie with some really stupid things and some really interesting things. Lots of like space inconsistencies too. Like, they don't really, the people, yeah, it's like, oh, the top of this capsule thing is like blown off and they're still just walking around. Like, oh, yeah, the wind is blowing away. No, no, it wouldn't be that easy. But they took like a lot of freedom with space in it, so it was just, it really was a giant mess. But there were some interesting things about it. Very weird movie. The Black Hole. Yeah. I mean, as a flat earther, it's probably gonna be extra funny to watch this. Seriously. Just to study it. Hello, Danny Torrance. First in chat, good to see you. Right, so I'm also starting some attempt at a flowchart schedule of how it's gonna work. It's still very messy though, and I'm just like, I'm really like, I just wish I had a couple of programmers like at my side to really get this thing done. Because, yeah. Or at least start it. Anyway, I got some sort of a chart. It's still very primitive. So, for the Bullet Dash game, by the way, that I was making, to just get this engine at least a bit of an oversight over like how this actually works, like what the processor is going to be doing. Hey Richard G, good to see you. Right, so at least I got something. It's not much, but it's a start. Right, but to really get anywhere, I'm gonna like need somebody to basically understand programming and like tell me, well, yes, tell me like how do you set up a framework within the programming for this. And all the considerations like, oh, is it a self-running system? Because Bullet Dash really doesn't have a lot of self-running systems that are independent from one another. It's really just one generator that figures everything out. And any input the player gives is always like going to be whenever, and then waiting for the main generator to like continue everything, to then maneuver that move of the player within it. So it's really all about the scanner and processor of the field of units and what they do. And that's like the only cycle, right? It's weird, man, because I've been thinking about this like way back also, and I'm thinking about it again, and I'm like realizing all these things that I'm going to bump into like once it actually gets going. And Like, what would typically happen if I had a programmer that was like trying to help set it up? It's like the only damn component that's missing is that I'm a programmer. If I were, I would literally just like make this thing. If I would just get programming properly. Instead of like getting how it works, being able to do it. Anyway. But yeah, maybe I am at some point gonna contact my brother and see like if he has time, if he has interest in doing anything like this. Maybe he'd want to actually, like as a side project, just do it for the fun of it. Or, well, since he is professionally a puzzle game maker, maybe he is even professionally interested in being associated with the game as a product. Since it is primarily a giant puzzle game. Right? So, yeah. I'm gonna, at some point, call him up. When I feel it's the right time. As soon as I can find his telephone number back. 'Cause it's still in my old mobile. Which for some reason I can't turn on. Right. Anyway. How are you guys doing this Monday? Doing okay. Got a decent dinner yesterday. Not super elaborate, but I mean I will today because I'm gonna be able to make spaghetti. Most games in the App Store are awful. Okay, I don't know, but I guess. But yeah, before I get it to like a really truly compatible app game, there's gonna be a lot for me to figure out. I mean, like getting the game to work properly and to have a system, a construction kit to basically create levels and all that, and then I'd have a game. But then like making it actually compatible as a product out there, that's a whole nother level. I'm like at that point I'd probably need like other companies to get involved and do that sort of thing. Like I'm not gonna be like the help desk for the entire game. Just me. Got a good audience, the beta test? Well, the beta testing is really not gonna be that much of an issue. It's getting something that actually works. Like the game testing itself is like, because this is not about a whole bunch of levels and it's just like it's made for the looks and then hope you don't bump into some kind of unexpected bug. Like that's not how this game works, you see. If there's going to be any unexpected bugs, they will be figured out like during the actual design process. It's inevitable because you're going to test a level, and if there's a bug, you're going to spot it very quickly. Because there's going to be like all these micro tests of just the functionality of everything in small levels. You're going to figure it out very quickly if something goes wrong, if something is programmed incorrectly. Anyway. But yeah, sure. Eventually I'll start basically like giving out test games for you to check out, like, oh, look at this, what do you think? Right, but that could take quite a while before I get to that point. Sorry about that. Anyway, hello Clutch. All right. Right. So, anything you guys want me to talk about? Just roll out a bit of a movie I watched, but it's really silly. The Black Hole from '79. And a bit of Bullet Dash, but I mean, yeah, it's not. I'm not just gonna like spend talking about it all the time. Like, I mean, I've asked before, by the way, people that actually are in my chat at times, like, if anybody could give me some kind of assistance. Like, I need basically a mentor kind of thing to get me started up in my attempt to program, so I can like have somebody to basically keep asking, like, what do I do with this? What do we do with that? Until I got a grip on it. Somebody who would be willing to be available for that would be fantastic. It would really get me going. And I've kept asking for somebody to contact me in Skype, because yeah, it's not gonna work during the live show in my chat. If that's the exclusive communication we have, that's not gonna work. Yeah, I'm not gonna like learn how to program live during the early bird show, if you know what I mean. So I really urge anybody that can, that knows about programming and wants to see me succeed with this, to please contact me on Skype, or starting with email or something. Just give me a contact, please. Used to love old Bullet Dash? Yeah. Dude, the potential for that game was insane. The levels that I made with the old Bullet Dash were so incredibly interesting and puzzle-like, like way beyond what I've ever seen out there. Other people make Bullet Dash levels. Because the old Bullet Dash levels were pretty much still had a lot of random to it, and they were just like a big mission, where it's just like one trick you have to do in a field. While I've like made puzzle systems where you're just like multi-tiered step, where there's like blow holes in walls so that a creature can pass through, get locked in a new part where it can blow another creature free, so that they go like incredible switch puzzles. Like with the old Bullet Dash, with a simple 16 block system. Okay, this thing is gonna be just unimaginably complex potentially. So yeah, I'm kind of eager to get that thing going so I could Like, so I could actually start figuring out what you could make with it. Like, typical, repeatable tricks that will be very handy to, like, copy. It's like, oh, this level's gonna have this thing too. This typical setup. Like, it's a neat trick, a natural thing that kind of flows. That you can then just, like, oh, I'm just gonna take that trick and put it in the other level and then make it slightly different. And dude, I could be busy on a daily basis for years with a construction kit like that. But I gotta actually have it. If you could help, yeah, that's thanks. I appreciate that, but yeah, it's not much help if you don't know programming. I was kind of hoping for a low fruit. He says he's a programmer, and some other guys to contact me on Skype. Right? Link is in it's the first line in the description box of the videos. My live shows. So anyway. Let's make my computer shut up. Come on. Holy shit. There you go. That's better. Right. Did anybody actually check out my little interview I had yesterday? Or what, not interview, when I came on with Flat Earthers? Did anybody check that out? Right, okay, I'm just gonna start eating this Illuminati croissant because I'm really hungry. Chat's not exactly blowing up with activity. Yes, it's on Flat Earthers channel, Richard G. And the link was posted yesterday in the chat. What? A rat nest? Uh-oh. dread cleaning the shed out, Danny? Hey, Dr. Utker, good to see you. They made a hole in the wood. Yeah, an air hole, probably. Why are they called Illuminati, croissant? Because they're shaped like a pyramid on side view, and they're €3.30. Well, they're not now. I mean, before a year ago, they weren't €3.30, but they were always meant to be €3.30. So that's why. Yeah. Right. In the meanwhile, absolutely nothing out of the ordinary is happening out there in the world. Nothing at all. What the? right? I mean, these times are definitely like one of the most uneventful times in our recollection, isn't it? Right? So boring right now. Like nothing at all. It's like, why is it so calm and silent everywhere that absolutely nothing is happening out there in the world right now? Right? And even like stands out to me like how a lot of people are really catching on that absolutely nothing out of the ordinary is happening out there in the world, and the true nature of that absolutely nothing happening. Like, why absolutely nothing out there is actually happening? They're really figuring it out. There's like entire documentaries about how absolutely nothing out of the ordinary is happening out there, all over the place. Have you noticed? Like, people are really catching on as to the true nature of the absolutely nothing going on. Someone has grown a massive pumpkin. Yeah. Yeah, Halloween is coming, of course. All that. So I guess there's the massive pumpkin. That's spectacular. I mean, I'm sure that's gonna really stick to people's memory a lot, right? Everybody's gonna be talking about that one. No, Dr. Utker, that's way too early. They come late November. Yeah, there's channels pumping it out 24/7. Yeah, but they're not flat Earth channels. That's the difference. And I can't say anything. I can't have an opinion about the thing that's absolutely not going on at all. Nothing out of the ordinary. Like, it's so uneventful that people will literally, like, in bliss, be able to just continue on and never even realize that something happened. It's that uneventful. They have invaded supermarket with Nicolas sweets. Dude, they do that a half year in advance with everything. So, half a year. They do that like 2 months, roughly, everywhere. Yes, well, Lewis Hackett, I mean, I'm sorry, but, you know, those sweets invading the supermarket, it is quite horrendous, the damage that they've caused, all the tooth decay, right? When the supermarket has, like, the best security forces in the world to prevent that kind of thing from happening, but they stood down for no damn reason and just let all those St. Nicholas sweets in the shop, causing all that extra tooth decay so early. Everybody was caught off guard. It's ridiculous. Throw me a pity party, throw me a PayPal, how about that? Donate to my PayPal or get the fuck out, how about that, Lewis Hackman? Sounds good to you? Okay. Bye, fuckfit. Bye. Right, but anyway, Dr. Utker, the entire problem all along with those supermarkets and the St. Nicholas suites is that the supermarket actually, like, they basically set up the St. Nicholas suites production manufacturer. The supermarket set it up. And they've been, like, closely connected at the top ever since. So whenever, yeah, basically people don't realize it, but St. Nicholas suites, like, they come to the supermarket because the supermarket ordered the St. Nicholas suites. Yeah, and then they might pretend like, oh, it's totally out of nowhere, the St. Nicholas suites just showed up and just started creating havoc, creating all this tooth decay everywhere, but they knew it because they're theirs. Yeah, the supermarket owns the St. Nicholas suites. They know what they're doing. They're creating tooth decay on purpose. Right? Because they want to expand their business into, like, dentistry. They want it all. Doctor, they had you. Yeah, that's not the proper response to everything I've just been saying, Dr. Utker, but fair enough. Okay, so you're not gonna go with it then, Dr. Utker? Maybe it's just too early for you guys. I don't know. Right, but the entire point, my point that I'm making about these St. Nicholas sweets and the supermarket industry, that the supermarket like added the extra sugar and the extra candy specifically to create tooth decay. They knew that was going to happen, right? They just let it all happen because through dentistry they could basically get a lot of debt on the people that would be consuming all the candy. And that way, well, stave off the issues they had at the top of the supermarket chain, because they're like in a lot of trouble. But by basically owning the consumer through debt, can they prevent from, well, the supermarket from basically being checked and brought down? So it's basically doling out extra sugar to create havoc on purpose. And that's why the St. Nicholas sweets arrive so early in the supermarket. Oh my god, you guys are stupid. Dudes. Don't start literally talking about candy, you dumbasses. You think I'm talking about candy? I'm so disappointed at you. For fuck's sake. No, that's not about... It's fine, Richard G. I'm just... I mean... Right. Thank you, Danny Torrance. Right? And it's not like we're the only ones that are doing this even. It's really getting out. Everybody in the frickin' world understands how the supermarkets are basically consolidating, like trying to just conquer by introducing St. Nicholas sweets early in the shops. They know what they're doing. It's all just a game to them, and hey, if thousands of, or millions of children just get tooth decayed, just like that, without any ability for them to do anything about it, like they don't care. It'll just bring even more attention to the situation, which will eventually lead to more people getting seduced into getting St. Nicholas sweets and then also getting tooth decay, right? And if everybody has tooth decay, nobody's gonna point at the supermarket owners like, hey, maybe you shouldn't be there getting all these St. Nicholas sweets early in the shop. Right? So that's the tactic. Yeah, you see, you can't actually stop the signal. You could just name anything, and I could still talk about it, the thing that cannot be talked about, and describe it utterly, every detail, by talking about something else. Just pick another subject, and I'll do it all over again. I can keep doing this. Like all day long. The only thing I'll ever talk about is the thing that I can't talk about by talking about something else. Yeah? You can't stop people from talking about what is true. Yeah? If you want that, you're gonna have to turn off all communications permanently. Because you cannot stop the signal. If you stop all communications permanently, then people will do it word of mouth. It will talk on the streets. Because it will be known. There's nothing that any supermarket owner can do about that. People will figure out the tooth decay scam. Child used to pick sweets from the streets. Yeah, I remember that. Well, not from the streets though, but it would like be on the floor. They would do that on the floors in houses and all that. That was classic. Like nobody gave a shit. Like, oh, it gets dirty. Like, nah, nobody really cares. In that one tiny supermarket, 50% that's right. It's a massive tooth decay epidemic because of that. It's probably the most egregious tooth decay scenario that has ever happened in this century thus far. The statue the Pope got as a gift? What, did that recently happen? What, he's got another Satan statue? Or another Molech one? Like, what is it now? Or did he just get a straight out Baphomet statue this time? Clutch. Hey, Bumbleclad Gatorfish, good to see you. Okay, it's official now. It's now in the title. Yep. I mean, Clutch, like, somebody's gonna be manufacturing that candy, so you just gotta figure out how's the candy manufactured. You'll figure out that it's actually the supermarket owners that are, like, very, like, almost directly involved. Like, could it be that the supermarket owners actually own, like, effectively own the St. Nicholas candy makers? Right? I mean, they do close business all the time. So it's not strange that they would be owning them. People don't even think about that. They just think like, no, candy makers, supermarket owners, they can never conspire. They're naturally repulsed by each other, right? One just sells stuff, the other one makes it. It's like that doesn't go together. They're like in opposition. So, but from a business model perspective, of course they do that if they're in it for the business. And yeah, well, it's a supermarket owner, so what did you expect? They own the St. Nicholas candy makers. They're directly in contact with each other. They do deals. So it's like, oh, okay. We get to produce the candy early. You put it in the supermarket, and then we can both get extra profit from the dentistry early on. Right? And then, yeah, the supermarket can expand its chain into that small supermarket with all those children because, yeah, that's very convenient to them. And then in return, like, they might, like, I don't know, let the candy makers just, like, take up shop in one of their supermarkets in the south. And like, yeah, give everybody tooth decay over there, right? So I think that it's all just business to them. And in the meantime, like the outsider franchises, they're just looking and like, yeah, we don't like those businesses and how they're doing it. Like, you're ruining the entire market with your early St. Nicholas candy schemes. So there might be a bigger supermarket war that eventually comes out of this. No, Borders Boy, you're saying it all wrong. Not browns. Don't fucking be a racist. It's brown sugar markets. Don't be a fucking racist, asshole. Don't fucking bring color into my hobo code, idiot. Brown sugar markets, good. That's much better. Right. So, now we're getting it. And I mean, I got this weird early candy deal with St. Nicholas candy and the supermarket. I got that deal like 10 years ago. I mean, nothing has changed, guys. They do the same thing. Everything just is nice and quiet. The heat gets a little high on supermarket owners. They're about to like get caught, and so they contact the St. Nicholas candy makers like, hey, we need something. We need some of that early sugar. And then they go produce that and make a situation, create all kinds of tooth decay, and then suddenly the supermarket owner doesn't get all that attention. So he doesn't risk losing his job. Right? Yeah, that title, I know, it's perfect. Danny Torrance. Yeah. The whole point is that all that tooth decay is not an incident. Everybody knows that that happens. It's just that people they want to remain ignorant. They just want to be able to just go to their supermarket and be without a care in the world. They don't want to know that, yeah, they do dole out a lot of candy, don't they? And yeah, that's not going to be good for people's health, but they still do it because, why? Well, because it makes a profit. Despite all the tooth decay. So in the end, supermarket doesn't care if you get tooth decay or not. They're probably connected. They know dentists. Like, I mean, any supermarket, any Candyman supermarket, Candyman knows dentists. Dentists are going to be like, yeah, there's a candy store there. Let's set up shop near because there's going to be people with tooth decay. Right? It's all just business. Right? And nothing gets money rolling more than having a toothache. Right? People might be like, no, I'm not gonna pay that much for this and that. But when they're in pain, like a lot, like toothache can be extremely excruciatingly painful. People are like, when you're that pain, you throw money. It's like, oh, I'm not gonna spend $100 on this. But if you're in that much pain, you'll literally like throw a 5,000 just to make it stop now, right? That's how people respond. The supermarket owners know that. It's just how to extract more money out of people. Right? And as long as people are kept busy with toothaches and candy enlightenment, they're not gonna look at, hey, Mr. Supermarket owner, maybe it's time you moved on. You don't really like how you handled the supermarket. Like, there are other supermarkets that basically run a bigger profit. Like, the workers are not very happy with the rules that you create for us. Right, anyway, I think you all get the point. Right, but in all seriousness, if there's such a thing as a nuke, let's just break the hobo code there. I don't really know how to translate this in supermarket. Or maybe just an entire building demolition, right? If there is entire building demolition that really exists, then we're gonna be seeing it pretty soon, if there's anything real about that. But I'm kind of like headstrong about it. I don't think we will. But if we will, then I'm pretty damn sure it's going to be a setup. It's going to be one of the craziest things you can ever imagine. As in a CGI thing. An actual complete CGI thing. Where basically a major supermarket gets demolished in one go. But in reality, there won't be anybody working there, of course. Because they knew it in advance. It's not like they just blow it up while it's still there. I've seen this in my vision. And I guess it's kind of sort of time to roll it out now, because there's more context in the world now for it. For anybody to understand what the hell I'm talking about, even with it. But I think basically there's going to be a weird fake nuke thing to try and reinforce the idea of nukes, because the elite is desperate for people to believe in it, to believe that that's real, because it's faltering, because nukes aren't real. So they have to create a situation where they can fake it again, like with Japan, right? They just firebomb Japan, and then it's like, oh, we nuked that one, and Japan basically cooperated with that claim to make that official. Yeah, something like that is going to happen with Iran. Like, they will cooperate with reinforcing the idea of it by being attacked with it, I think. That's what I believe is going to happen. Don't know exactly when, but it can't be too long. And how would it happen? Well, probably a giant warehouse full of dynamite. That, or something weirder. Maybe they're gonna like erase it, like at Hawaii. Maybe they're not gonna nuke it anymore. Maybe they're just gonna like just erase the whole place, like melt it all. Maybe that's how they're doing it now. But whatever is gonna happen, they're gonna claim it was nuked. Right? I mean, technically, you could do that. Like, take a city or whatever, literally erase it with DEWs, and then, like, have a major dynamite building filled, just make a giant hole there. Like that. So that it all looked completely burnt and torched, and then blown apart. Which is kind of what a nuke's supposed to be leaving behind. Right, so there you go. There's a prediction, other than supermarket talk. Also, there's a chance that it gets really weird. There's a good chance that nah, I'm not gonna talk about it. Like, there's another option besides that would happen. It could also be that, well, they're just completely defeated and that they retreat entirely to the United States. And then basically try to resettle there. And then it's going to be the United States' problem. That's also a thing that could potentially happen. Fake fallout, nuclear winter. No, they don't. They don't fake it. They don't need to fake it. They just claim it. They just say it's there. And that's it. Just like climate change nonsense. They just say it's happening. And it isn't. Right? Same nonsense with Fukushima. They just say, oh, it's all this and that. Meantime, there's people that have just never left there and they still live there. And they're doing fine. They just say it. And nothing's happening. That's how it works. Underground market, yeah. Yeah, it's the new BlackRock chain. Is this still code word talk? No, it isn't. Now, you can't explain technicals like if you're gonna say something that's going to happen, and you do it in hobo code, that gets really convoluted and so, right? But the main problem isn't that we can't talk about what could happen. The problem is that you can't talk about what's happening right now, and that's gonna have to be hobo code. All that super straightforward, obvious shit that everybody is figuring out. You can't talk about it. Or I can't. Yeah, I know, Richard G. I'm very good at doing this. And it's a very good skill to have too, especially when you do Dungeons and Dragons. Because that makes great mysteries for like NPCs that are like secretly trying to discuss something without wanting the players to understand it. So I can like do that sort of thing like among characters at the players, and they're trying to communicate something without the players catching on, and that's like a real challenge, but it works. And it makes everything so real when you do that. It like makes the whole thing just be real for the players. Anyway. Listening for 4 minutes and thought I was talking about something else. Yeah. Yeah. Getting the right people to know the code. Yeah, but I mean, it's almost pointless. Like, I'm just having to do that because I want to sort of express my ideas about it freely. I'm not, like, it's not like, oh my god, I really have to communicate this to you because otherwise you wouldn't know. Because you're literally getting snowed to all hell. There's literally an avalanche of that information out there. Like, I literally just like clicked a bunch of news sites and there were just like 9 out of 10 articles were related to the supermarket and a St. Nicholas candy. All of it. It's like nothing shuts up about it. So I'm not like under the misapprehension like I really need to inform you about what is real because it is all out there already. Like nothing is stopping this sale. This St. Nicholas candy sale, it's just everybody knows what's happening. Everybody knows how it works. It's like, and they've been doing it for a long time. And everybody just knows it now. And with the social media spreading, like everybody's figured it out very quickly, even despite the censorship. Yeah, people still get censored. But then there's plenty of networks that don't get censored. And they're making work of it. And they're not getting stopped. I should do it. No, I should not. No, I'd love to do another Dungeons & Dragons game, but it'll have to be in real life. I'm not gonna rely on people on the internet to be part of that game. I'm just not going to do that. Absolutely not. Right? A real Dungeons & Dragons game, you're there in the room with each other, and you stay there for quite a few hours. And that's how you know everybody's there. If it's online, like somebody could just like barely be paying attention, and how would you even know? You wouldn't even know when you'd be wasting your energy. I'm not gonna do it. Dungeons & Dragons only really works face to face. Or if you can do it online if you have a really reliable group that you've known for years. And then you could do that because you already know who you're dealing with. What? Super pack of wolves? Oh really? They got wolves? Huh. Right, anyhow. Bit stiffish. I don't know what that is. I've been looking forward to getting some spaghetti though. Who are you talking about, Danny Torrance? Stop. You're sweetie now before the nukes come. No. And I'm gonna be able to stock up on spaghetti. I mean, unless you guys want to give me like another €100, and then sure, I'll stock up on spaghetti. Sure. But otherwise, I'm just gonna get spaghetti for one go, if you don't mind. Right, anyway. It's weird, man. I feel a bit tired. I don't know what it is. Although, I did have, like, yesterday evening was weird. I tried some of that Space Bear coffee that Canada Bear sent me. I tried it like not super late, but man, that was like pretty freaky. It's like getting coffee for the very first time again. It also got me inspired to write down the flow chart thing. But man, I gotta be careful with that stuff, because it just makes so much of an impact on me physically. I just notice, I can feel it that I drank coffee yesterday. It's pretty freaky. So yeah, I'm definitely not making a habit out of it. Energy drink lag? What? Be cool to know what they were really doing. Operation Fishbowl. If they did anything other than make trick footage. Yeah, that's what I think. That Operation Fishbowl was a pure propaganda, that they did absolutely nothing. Like, they did not send rockets up to explode anything, and then we just got to see these animations again of like, oh, big explosion, and this time in the sky, and that's it. It was just animations. Otherwise, people would have seen it. Somebody would have seen something. Nobody saw nothing, did not hear nothing, saw nothing. It was completely made up. That's what I think. "60 unidentified substances in the coffee." What are you talking about, Seeking Star Water? What? What? What do you mean unidentified? Oh. Yeah, also, I was thinking yesterday, during that coffee and all that, I was thinking again about my view on life and death and heaven and reincarnation. It's really interesting. And it's like, I've got a pretty strong model now of what it's probably like. And I can literally compare that to my Dark World visions. And it kind of matches. Also, I think I actually got into contact with a good servant yesterday, with Stephen, for a bit. That was really weird. Like, he communicated with me through heaven. Like, he was doing his thing. Maybe a bit weird to say that to you guys, but I really think that I had like this psychic connection with him yesterday from his place in heaven. A place, basically him being all capable and doing what he's good at in his personal heavenly simulation. Lots of work to hide it, so some conspiracy nuts find it. What? What do you mean? But yeah, propaganda that was kept secret. Absolutely. That's good, normie, and they will have no clue. Yeah, but that doesn't matter. Because the normies don't matter at all. If there's something you need to like, I'm not gonna. yeah, I just wanted to say that they do it a lot of the time. They just create conspiracies and then hide it, so that people that are really curious and digging around, they'll stumble onto that, so they won't stumble onto something much closer to an individual in power. Right? It's busy therapy for the curious. Just think about those things that they did and what was happening at the time beside that. What else was happening? What are these things supposed to be distracting from, right? Hey, Terror 306. What's the title? Yeah. Yeah, you're gonna have to just watch the show from the beginning, Tarot. Right, I'm gonna take a 2-minute break. Be right back. And I'm back. Hey, LSG, what's that? Oh, you got a new song. Oh wait, is that the old song? Yeah. Hello, Steamy Traveler. Good to see you. Right, yeah, see you later, Dr. Utker. Man, I'm just not really liking the cold these days. At least the camera's not freezing anymore, though. Oh. Yeah, see you later, Tarot. Have a good night. Right. Yeah. Oh, it's a pretty good video, that one. I'm kind of looking forward to more of those. She looks pretty cool. Or sounds cool. But I think I'm gonna round out the show a bit early. I'm feeling kind of weird. I think it's been the coffee that I drank yesterday. I don't drink coffee, you see. I haven't done that in a long time, and it just like spontaneous thought, like, let's try it out. And though the experience was like, well, ecstatic, basically, like, it is like making an impact on my body that I can still, like, this is just like I drank beer yesterday. That's what it feels like. Really, it's like the same kind of influence. It's very weird. So I think I'm gonna round out a bit early, and then hopefully tomorrow I'll be in better shape. Also because I should have eaten spaghetti by that time. Right. But yeah, today's show was interesting. Did a bit of hobo code talking, sort of. And it was funny to do that. I mean, the point is like, I don't like doing that. I mean, it's fun and handy that I can. I like to be straightforward, and it just pisses me off when I get strikes because I'm just saying what I'm thinking. Be bored to drink coffee. Yeah. I mean, it was really exhilarating and all that, but it has a measurable impact now, afterward. So I'm just not doing that anymore. Just coffee is not good for me. That's why I quit drinking it, right? I used to drink turmeric coffee on this show, but then I just figured out it's being really bad for me. So I quit. And then eventually I even quit tea. I have been in a much better shape since, so. But yeah, I did try coffee again yesterday. It gave me a real kick, but I'm feeling it now. So it's like, just like beer and all that, it's like, yeah, it's really cool. But it'll have a big downside the next day. Like, palpably there. Like something that is in the way. It's not just, oh yeah, I know that I've done that. No, it's something that's literally in the way. A detriment. A provable detriment. So, yeah, I'm not going back to that. But it is interesting just that it still made such an impact. After all this time, it's just, to me, it was mostly like incredible that I had all this euphoria, basically, that came along with it. It's like this, like, unstoppable enthusiasm all of a sudden. I mean, that really is like the original kick of coffee, isn't it? Well, and when you don't drink it and then you drink it again, you get that kick again. But if you then continue drinking it, the kick goes away. Or most of it. Keep pilling stuff. Yeah, I mean, Bombaclad Gatorfish, I don't even understand how they can do that. Like, I don't understand how you can have so little control over your own body like that. Using it in moderation, it's a tool. Yeah. Well, I'll try to use it in moderation, perhaps, but I'm better like for exceptional situations that I might drink coffee. But especially for moments where I require a lot of focus and activity. But not just like, oh, I want to be focused, but like when, well, for the programming, I think if I'd actually get going and it's like I'm getting good at it and I'm like, oh, there's a whole lot I have to do. It might be slightly tedious. That's the moment where I'd start to drink coffee and just get doing, right? Because that's what it's perfect for, in my estimation. But any other situation, and it's like, no, I just like to avoid that altogether. Because of the backlash afterward, just slight instability in the stomach, basically. Right, but I'm definitely a lot more careful with substances of all sorts, because I am very influenceable. Like, things make an impact on me. Like, all drugs are really heavy to me. which makes them more addictable also. But also their effects wane quicker and return more quickly when I quit. So it's like I got this big cache of hormones that respond to drugs that basically give me those experiences. It's a big cache, but it also goes out pretty quick and refills pretty quick. That's kind of what it's like. That's how I work. That's how my physiology is. So for my overall system, you could say drugs are relatively cheap for me, cheaper than with other people, because I need less to get more out of it. Problem also is that there's more chances that I do get hooked because it's cheaper to get hooked. Like somebody that like barely feels anything of anything, like they need to like spend a lot to like get expensive drugs. And that will be like they gotta really want it, right? Or be really obsessed with it to like throw all that away for it. With me, like that's never gonna happen because I don't need that much with anything. Not that I'd even try all those things. I don't. I literally don't. It's just a few things that I tried and then it just quickly realized like, yeah, I don't want anything other than what I'm already using. Cannabis, tobacco, at the time coffee, beer. Like, I'm never gonna move beyond that spectrum, drug-wise. That's what I decided very early on after testing a couple of things outside of that. It was like, yeah, this is all garbage. Like, all that stuff is all for people that have burnt themselves out, desperate for another experience. That's what those hard drugs are for people that have already destroyed themselves. Like, I don't need that shit. It's all just a curse to me. It all just damages my ability to actually enjoy my life on the long run. So I don't even want to try it. Like, oh, heroin, oh, it's the ultimate. Yeah, go fuck yourself, dude. Why the fuck would I want that? I'd get too many metadata feelings on top of it. So it'd be the ultimate euphoria. And then I'd feel in the ultimate euphoria how literal demons are just like there with me in this ultimate euphoria. And it's like, no. What about if I just don't do that ever? And the same goes with all that other crap. Coke. What? Like, meth. Just fuck off with the fucking meth. The worst shit ever. I mean, that stuff is crap. Absolute crap. It turns you into a freaking robot with artificial enthusiasm that you can literally feel isn't real. So you have like this pushed, like compulsive enthusiasm without any soul to it, without anything about it being real. It just makes you compulsive. It just sucks. It sucks. That stuff sucks. I don't understand how anybody can get addicted to it. It just sucks. Right. So I'm never moving. Like cannabis, dude, is already like, yeah, man, that's enough. And besides, cannabis does basically help me do dream walking. It does bring me into the dream walking field. It works for what I want. For my abilities, it works. Other things, they don't really work for me. Right. Anyway, I'm gonna round out the show. Right. So yeah, be careful with the St. Nicholas candy. It'll get you toothache. So just don't do it. Right? Just leave it alone. I know it's everywhere in media right now, but it's best to just kind of stay away from it, because you don't want to end up with a toothache. And you will if you're going to dig into it, right? So don't fall for the supermarket scam of introducing St. Nicholas candy early. And avoid having to go to the dentist, right? Because we all know what's happening now in media, we can all miss it like toothache. We can all miss that, can't we? Huh? Right. So thanks everyone for coming. I hope you liked this show. If you did, then please don't forget to Rogans it up. And if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel and hit the bell notification so you know when I'm going live, which is normally 1 p.m. Amsterdam time in the weekdays and 2 p.m. Amsterdam time in the weekend. And please also do support me through the PayPal and the Patreon. That would be much appreciated, and I can always use the support, so please keep it coming. Yeah, really, I could still use it. So, I'll be back tomorrow with Flat Earth Early Bird number 1752 on a Tuesday, and I'm going to join the Flat Earth debates over at Nathan Oakley 9080 channel, which should start up in a few minutes from now. Hope to see you all there in the chat, and until the next video, keep it flat.